Every story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello there, good evening, and thank you for joining us on CoreTV Primetime News. I am Frank Omalape. In our top stories, President Muhammadu Buhari, others have called on Nigerians to pray for peace, love and prosperity as Muslims begin the 2015 Ramadan fast. Also in the news, Senate President Bukola Saraki has assured that the 8th National Assembly will pass the Petroleum Industry Bill. The police authority says it has washed its hands off the issues surrounding the extradition of battle between Senator Kashamu and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. Outside Nigeria, the suspect who shot dead 9 worshippers during a Bible study at an African-American church in Charleston, South Carolina, has been arrested. Thank you for joining us tonight. President Muhammadu Buhari has called on Nigerians to pray for the return of peace, love and prosperity throughout the country as Muslims start the 2015 Ramadan fast. He also implored Muslims to seek maximum benefit from the month-long fast. President Muhammadu Buhari says this in a congratulatory message released on his behalf by the Senior Special Assistant of Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. He also sent an appeal to the perpetrators of violence and destruction in the name of Islam all over the world to desist from tarnishing the name of the religion. The president urged them to drop their arms and embrace peace and seek a better understanding of Islam during the holy period and beyond. And now, Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, has urged Muslim faithfuls across the world to use the Ramadan period to pray for Nigeria. He said this in a goodwill message to Muslims at the commencement of the month-long fast. Speaker Dogara also noted that the promise of change by the new government can only be realized if Nigerians rededicate themselves to the service of God and humanity. Meanwhile, as Muslims begin the month-long fasting period, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has called on them to pray for peace of the country. He also wants Muslim leaders to attack the roots of terrorism by attacking the ideology. This, he says, is because of the prevailing violence, which is disrupting social and economic life for people in some part of the country. In a statement released by his media office in Abuja on Wednesday, the former vice president said he has constantly saddened by the frequent explosion of conflicts and violence, which pose threats to the country's peace. He wants Muslim leaders to intensify efforts to eliminate the influence of extremists while also calling on political leaders to show extra vigilance to stem the growth of extremism. In addition, the former vice president called for urgent action to shield innocent Muslim disciples from the influences of extremist teachers who might exploit their ignorance to push them into criminal atrocities. In the same vein, Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu has called on Nigerians to close ranks and work for the peace and progress of the nation, irrespective of political, ethnic, and religious diversities. He made the call in a goodwill message to Muslim Umar at the start of Ramadan fast. Senator Ekweremadu, who described peace and unity as the fundamental ingredient for lasting development, said that Nigeria had come to a junction where all lovers of the country must put aside their differences to pray and work for national harmony. He noted that now that the three arms of government are fully in place, it is time for politicians to close ranks and give politics a break and direct all attention and energy to governance. And our prominent Islamic cleric wants Muslim faithful to uphold the teachings of Prophet Muhammad as the month-long Ramadan fasting begins. Some of them who spoke with CoreTV News in Abuja maintained that the general rules governing the period must also become part of the daily lives of Muslims. They insist that faithful should seize the opportunity to earnestly seek God and pray for national peace.
You can be conscious of your God, so that you can get closer to your God, so that your soul can be purified, so that your thinking, your action, your reaction, your inaction will be godly, and you'll be conscious of God in everything which you do. You will not be in a position that what belongs to thousands of people, now you garner it for yourself. That as a Muslim, you will not do it. You will not tell lie. You will not commit obscene things that are prohibited by God. We all know what is good and what is bad. Everything that is not good during the month of Ramadan, you learn to avoid it. Not just avoiding it in the month of Ramadan, you learn to avoid it.
Fasting is prescribed for Muslims, for them to be God-fearing. لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. That you people, you may fear Almighty Allah. So, going by the context of the fast, Muslims are expected to be God-fearing during and after the Ramadan. Now I want to use this medium to advise Muslims. We all know that Al-Quran was referred to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam during the month of Ramadan. So we should read as many as possible. That is Al-Quran. You read Al-Quran as many as possible because it is highly rewarding. That is the recitation of Al-Quran.
Away from Ramadan messages now, Senate President Bukola Saraki is convinced that the 8th National Assembly will pass the Petroleum Industry Bill into law. He gave the assurance while receiving the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, James Witsu, in Abuja. The Senate President said the onus is on the present crop of leadership to find a way around the bill as well as put a system in place to block leakages in revenue.
It's the second high-profile diplomatic visit to the National Assembly in a week. U.S. Ambassador James Entwistle is on a visit to the Senate President as part of steps to have an insight into the legislative agenda of the new leadership. He expressed America's readiness to partner Nigeria in areas of common interest, but also wants to have an insight into the plans of the new government at a time of great expectations.
The United States, just as we have always had fruitful, good relations with all governments of Nigeria, we stand ready to do the same with this administration. Our relations are already close on many different areas, and my task is to work with all of you to make them even closer. I'd be very interested as you begin your work, as you begin the legislative agenda, to hear what are the priorities for you as you look at the challenges facing the country. And of course there are many, but as I always say, I'm deeply optimistic about this country.
In response, the Senate President made it clear that the Petroleum Industry Bill, which had been in the Assembly since 2008, would be given priority attention under his watch.
Yesterday we met with one of the oil companies, and it's clear that we must find a way to tackle this bill that's been very evasive, the PIB bill.
Yeah, it's had a very long life.
And I think we must bring it to rest. And I think that's a general belief of my colleagues, that we have to be creative and find a way to ensure that we move quickly, because that sector needs to be addressed. Also, we've got to also look at the sector of how do we make the Nigeria business friendly and more friendly for business and for investment, and look at some of the laws that will ensure competition, will ensure investment. We look to that sector, we want to do that.
He also spoke about the lawmakers' readiness to ensure that all loopholes for revenue leakages are blocked.
And a greater oversight, particularly on budget and budget processes, to ensure that one of our challenges, as you know, is the issue of revenues and the fact that we still have severe number of leakages here and there. And we think that we need to try and plug majority of these leakages, trying to ensure that we put a system in place to ensure that we can push up our revenue levels to meet some of the challenges.
The Senate president also assured the Americans that under the new government, Nigeria would continue to be attractive to investment opportunities, especially as the country seeks to diversify its revenue base.
And now Chad's military has confirmed that it carried out airstrikes on suspected Boko Haram positions in Nigeria. This, he says, is in response to Monday's bomb attack on the police headquarters in N'Djamena. It says in a statement that the insurgents suffered heavy casualties in the airstrikes, which destroyed 6 Boko Haram's bases. And now the United States, it says it has always been committed to assisting Nigeria wage a successful war against insurgency. U.S. Ambassador to the country, James Entwistle, reaffirmed this position on the sidelines of a courtesy call on Senate President Bukola Saraki in Abuja. He maintained that no country has done more to partner Nigeria in the fight against insurgents.
I can't think of anything we could do that we're not already doing. I think, I'm sorry? Oh, that's just a small part of what we're doing. I hope you've been paying attention for the last few years. No friend and partner is doing more to help this country in the fight against Boko Haram than we are. We're ready to talk to the new administration about expanding other things we can do, but our sleeves have been rolled up. We've been helping in the fight against Boko Haram for years now. That will continue. I can assure you of that.
You're watching CoreTV Primetime News. We'll take a break shortly. We'll be back with more stories after this time out. You join us again.
I'm going to have naked. That's a sign of protest, saying that things are not good.
Women share the most amazing thoughts
When it's close to the time, our people will protest naked.
on national issues.
That was their own point. That was an accident. That is different.
And they do it
Politics is about being a servant.
passionately,
Without a woman, there will be no success at all.
sharing the adorable word of women
There are some women who have what it takes.
in politics.
Margaret Thatcher, Iron Lady. When she's too soft, she's too soft.
Only on CoreTV News.
If you just join us, this is CoreTV Primetime News live from our Lagos studios. A quick reminder of our top stories. President Muhammadu Buhari, others have called on Nigerians to pray for peace, love and prosperity as Muslims begin the 2015 Ramadan fast. Also, Senate President Bukola Saraki has assured that the 8th National Assembly would pass the Petroleum Industry Bill into law. And the police authorities say it has washed its hands of the issues surrounding the extradition battle between Senator Boji Kashamu and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. All our top stories can be found on our social media platforms like our Facebook page. It's facebook.com/CoreTV News. You can also follow at CoreTV News NG. For live streaming, log on to youtube.com/CoreTV space then news. Inspector General of Police Solomon Araze has set up a panel to screen all junior police officers who have obtained higher educational qualifications. This is with a view to upgrading them to the rank of Assistant Superintendent of Police and Inspectorate cadets. Police spokesman Emmanuel Juku said in a statement that interviews at state commands are slated for July 1 to 6, while zonal screening will run from July 16 to 22. The police command expects the result of the interview to reach force headquarters on or before July 28. And a federal high court in Abuja has fixed September 21 to hear a suit challenging the qualification of Femi Gbajabiamila to hold a seat in the House of Representatives. The suit was filed by a right group, Social Justice and Civil Rights Awareness Initiative, which had earlier made a failed bid to get the court to stop the former minority leader from aspiring for the position of House Speaker. Defense counsel Femi Adedeji told the court that the matter had become an academic exercise since the election had been concluded and a winner emerged.
We are challenging is very membership of the House of Representatives, and of course together that it should not be allowed to contest, but that one haven't come and gone. The challenge to the membership remains extant, valid and subsisting. And what the court has done today is to say that we should file a written address in support of the originating summons because the rules do not compel us to file. We should file. Then they themselves should also file their own written address at whatever documents they think they have, so that we are doing actually house cleaning, housekeeping, so that when all the papers are in, then the fireworks will start, the real legal battle will.
Accepting the nomination of this political party, pending the determination of the case. Well, we are thinking they will withdraw that motion as the same thing has become academic today. But they want to react to our processes that were filed. So in the light of that, the court has decided to take the whole suit with the motion all together. So the matter has been adjourned to the 21st of September.
And now the police authorities have washed their hands off the attempts to drag them into issues surrounding the extradition battle between Senator Broji Kashamu and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. This was after a national newspaper had given indication that the police had allegedly been informed that there was no case against the Oguri senator. A police spokesman Emmanuel Ojukwu is emphatic that the letter from the British High Commission does not derogate from the extradition request by the U.S. authorities, which is pending with the relevant department and agencies of government in Nigeria. He added that the police only sought confirmation from the British authorities on the status of Prince Kashamu's legal battles in the United Kingdom based on a letter from the senator's lawyers. And now Justice Rita Ofili Ajumogobia of the Federal High Court in Lagos State has deferred judgment in the case of a former Minister of Aviation, Femi Fani-Kalde, till July 1, 2015. She told the court on Thursday that she could not deliver judgment in the case as earlier scheduled due to the absence of the lead prosecution counsel, Festus Keyamo. This was after prosecution counsel Festus Afien had announced Keyamo's absence due to his involvement in another matter where he was standing as a witness. Justice Ajumogobia turned down the defense counsel's plea to stand down the matter till later in the day and consequently adjourned. Judgment to July 1, 2015, Fani-Kalde is facing trial on a 2-count charge of laundering about 100 million naira while he was the Minister of Culture and Tourism and later as Minister of Aviation. And all operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission have arrested former Imo State Governor Ihedio Hakim. The former governor was earlier scheduled to visit the EFCC office in Abuja on Wednesday on invitation, but he did not turn up. This, according to the anti-graft agency, led to him being picked up to answer questions on an ongoing investigation into allegations of corruption and embezzlement by his government. EFCC spokesman Wilson Wajorin confirmed that Hakim is being questioned by the investigators. And now, court activities in Owerri. The Imo State curfew is fast becoming a trend among the youth. The Imo State Governor, Rochas Okrocha, has condemned in strong terms while calling on parents to watch their children and words closely. CoreTV News Ajibade Officer brings us more details.
Shortly after the arrest made by the Imo State Police Command of some 25 cult members, 3 students of Emmanuel College, Owerri, was apprehended by the operatives of the Department of State Security in cult-related cases. The commander, however, stated the essence of the arrest and those involved.
Emmanuel College, the first one is Madoma Ibope. He is 14 years old and just 3 students of Emmanuel College. Then the main person who initiated them is Okorie Chige Mezu, 22 years old. He's an student of Emmanuel College and belongs to Black Axe and currently in Kenya. Then Samuel Unyagocha, 40 years old, just a student of Emmanuel College. He was about to be initiated and then was caught.
Governor Rochas Okorocha, who had rolled out a free education policy in the state, expressed his shock at the developments.
And some of them have senior people in the university, in mechanic workshops that get involved in this. This young man here is a mechanic. Court destroyed his life. He could not continue with school. He couldn't go to university because of court activities. Now he's a mechanic. And he's the one that brought this fella there, his younger brother, into court activities. So this is not good for our children, it's not good for society, it's not good for this nation. And we must do all we can to stop these court activities. And we're going to take stringent measures now in all schools.
The governor has outrightly condemned the engagement of the student in cult activities. Okorocha also called on parents to watch their children and wards closely, lest they become agents of destruction.
To daily check what their children do. Because the SSS, the security people cannot do much if the parents will not approve. So my appeal will be that the parents should watch keep a close touch with their children, discuss with them on a daily basis, and help them out to grow. This could be a medical doctor, this could be an engineer, this could be a pilot. But life is waste. It's sick.
The governor also called on the people of Imo State to work hand in hand with the security operatives in the hope that cult activities will soon be eradicated from the state. Ajibade Awofeso, CoreTV News, Owerri.
Still on crime matter, a notorious cannabis dealer in Lagos had been sentenced twice in 2 days at the Federal High Court in Ikoyi, Lagos. A 30-year-old convict, Afiz Isa, also known as Agama, who reside at Iketuga Street, Meron, Lagos, had been sentenced to 8.5 years. He was first sentenced to 18-month imprisonment for dealing in 29 kilograms of dried weights that set positive for cannabis by Justice C.J. Aneke on Monday, June 15, 2015. 2 days later on, Wednesday, June 17, 2015, his matter was brought before Justice Okon Abank over unlawful dealing in 3.9 kilograms of cannabis and was sentenced to 7 years imprisonment. And earlier, prosecutor Jeremiah Aaron informed the court that the accused was not a first offender, as he was sentenced 2 days earlier by another court for dealing in cannabis. On his part, the convict pleaded guilty and begged for forgiveness. He says he's married with children and wants to be with his family. Not satisfied with his appeal, Justice Abank in his ruling said the convict did not deserve mercy. And away from there now, in a bid to address the perennial traffic gridlock in Lagos, Governor Akinwumi Ambode has directed the relocation of bus stops from markets in the metropolis. Ambode gave the directive while moving around traffic-prone areas in the state. A correspondent, Abiola Luwale, has more.
Being the nation's economic nerve center, Lagos has a peculiar challenge of traffic gridlock due to high population. The visit of Governor Ambode to traffic-prone areas is in accordance with the promise of reducing avoidable loss of man-hours due to traffic bottleneck made during a meeting with the leadership of the State Traffic Management Authority. Addressing the media after visiting my 12 Iyanoworo and toll gate bus stops in Koshofe local government, Pen Cinema in Agege, Abulegba and Iyano Ipaja in Alimosho, Ambode says government is working to relocate some bus stops as a way of providing solution to the traffic situation across the metropolis.
We must start to have solutions to our traffic challenge in Lagos State, and that's what we're doing.
The governor has also approved the construction of pedestrian bridge at Bega End along Lagos-Ibadan Expressway.
Bega needs a footbridge, and immediately, the engineers are going to go to work and make sure that we'll put something there. Beyond that, we don't want any traffic on that highway.
Substantiating the governor's stance, the permanent secretary of the State Ministry of Transportation, Oluseyi Koka, and the general manager, Lagos Public Works, Ayotunde Sodende, relevant agencies have been directed to effect the change.
It directed that we should not allow bus stops very near markets, and we have looked at it, and personally, together, he has looked and pointed to places where we could get all these bus stops. So and also that in a manner that the people will not be punished.
We are going to start work, let's say, as from Monday. We are not going to work during the day so that we will not obstruct traffic. We are going to work during the night, and we have a lot of gangs that will attend to all these situations. Very soon, you will see us in action, and you will see what they call a new phase of public works.
Addressing traffic gridlock has been a recurring challenge of successful governments in Lagos State. Therefore, exploring ways of tackling this challenge by the current administration in a humanly friendly manner will be one of the expectations of residents. Abiola Oluwole, CoreTV News, Lagos.
And Benin Airport will be closed for commercial flight activities by Saturday, and the closure may last for up to 3 weeks. Benin Airport is one of the oldest in the country, and it's according to an official who refused speaking on camera. The reason for this is to enable the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria FAN carry out an all-round maintenance of the airport. Our correspondent has more in this report. Apologize, we'll bring you that report in our subsequent bulletins. And now to Ekiti State. The Ekiti State, according to statistics, has been ranked as the second poorest in the country, and with its attendant natural resources like mountains as tourist centers. Mountains in area Ekiti West local government area is famously known for its spiritual enclaves where Christians throng for prayers. But beyond this, the number of visitors to these mountains appears to be begging for government attention to look beyond and create a viable source of revenue for the state. Our correspondent Rashid, who visited the mountains, has details.
The names given to states in Nigeria are derived from various features of such states, and Ekiti State is no exception. Literally, Ekiti means mountain, thus becoming the name of present-day Ekiti State. The state is endowed with different sizes and types of rocks. Erio Ekiti, one of the most popular mountain sites, it's known for Christians coming for prayers. In reality, the Erio mountain, though having hectic time to navigate, there is full life going on at the mountain top. Houses have sprung up, while some have come to stay, making a permanent abode.
I'm one of the coordinator of this mountain. It means I'm the prophet of this mountain.
Okay, so you come around here to do what?
God sent me to this place, so to be bless people and to be praise the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ.
But beyond these prayer warriors, some are there for meditation and recreation.
A lot of people really recreating, in the way I think the concept of recreation, really intended it to be, quiet, concentration, peace. Even you had some birds taking the branches often to sing for you, and you can concentrate, and that allows you for meditation, such other things as will be, enhancing spiritually for you.
Ekiti State, bountifully blessed with rocks, is expected to account as revenue generation, but the government says all will be done to harness this.
Religious tourism is everywhere across the world. The Hindu shrines, people go there to recreate for their own religious denomination. The Christians travel, Muslims go to Mecca. This is a Mecca for Christians.
There are some investors who have approached us in Ekiti. These rocks we are looking at, they are potential raw material for production of floor tiles. They are there abundantly, giving a kind of peaceful atmosphere. We'll be able to tap into some of these abundant resources that are lying down.
In the face of economic hardship faced by states struggling to pay workers' salaries, it might be a good time to look inwards and have alternative measures to generate funds, and mountains in Ekiti may serve this purpose. Rashid, CoreTV News, Erio Ekiti.
Young women in Nigeria have been charged to rise above the circumstances in the society and aspire to be leaders in all spheres of life. The Executive Director, Young Stars Foundation, Kingsley Bankwell, challenged women to be more active in the political sphere and other leadership platforms. Nigeria can be the most leading economies in Africa and among the top 20 in the world if only it can overcome the challenges of leadership. A seminar which focuses on Africa's Big Five with the tie to power and influence in Africa centers among 5 African countries including Algeria, Egypt, Ethiopia, Nigeria and South Africa. It shows that over 60% of Africa's economy is on its population power. Technology is fast growing in Nigeria, which helps to inform, educate and enlighten its users of the benefit of the digital world. It is in this view that Google, in collaboration with Media Reach, organized Google Day meant to increase and improve digital marketing and advertising of brand. Emmanuel Ajayi has more in this report.
Okay, Google. What is OMD Media Reach Lagos address?
Technology in the digital world is no doubt an instrument of change in the 21st century. It is in this view that Google, in partnership with Media Reach, organizes its Google Day to enlighten Nigerians about the importance of digital marketing and advertising, filled with innovation and pushing beyond boundaries. Speaking at the event, Google's country manager, Juliet Enyima Chiozo, emphasizes on the reality of the new digital connected world.
But I think brands can do a better job of catching up. I think part of that is awareness. I think people are yet to fully understand how they can integrate digital into their marketing strategies. But we're seeing some brands actually taking the lead. So if you think about the last World Cup, a lot of the theme songs championing the Super Eagles that were run on TV also had a YouTube component. So more and more brands are taking their TV ads and just putting them on YouTube.
For his part, the Chief Digital Manager, Media Officer of Media Outreach says partnership with Google will give robust digital marketing and advertising medium for consumers.
Today's meeting or today's presentation is all about connected consumers. It's about knowing Google more than what we know. So we've seen certain examples like Google Maps, voice recording, voice calling, and things like that. So basically it's about, how do we use these products which are beyond what we know on Google, and it's about connecting consumers with brands and so on and so forth.
Do you think the world is changing? No, the world has changed. Get in tune with the digital world and be on top of your game. Emmanuel Ajayi, CoreTV News, Lagos.
You're still watching CoreTV Primetime News. We take another break now. We'll be back with sports and other stories outside Nigeria. Stay with us.
As news breaks, people don't let events pass without giving their comment or reactions.
When the problem arises in society, these are the people that should be consulted.
To cleanse the corruption in society, we are not to provide information for good life and also security of life and property in this country.
The academic society have the loudest voice on this platform.
Whether you call it a sovereign national conference or a national conference, it's about the people of Nigeria.
There should be a change in power. In any way they can do it.
I think there's a script already.
Every Tuesday at 8:45 p.m. on this station. From the Ivory Tower, a must-watch for the learning minds.
And outside Nigeria now, U.S. President Barack Obama has offered his Women's greetings to Muslims all over the world, even as the holy month of Ramadan began on Thursday. Obama, in his address, noted that the Islamic fasting month is a time to reinforce faith, compassion, forgiveness, and perseverance. He also used the opportunity to reiterate America's commitment to building a more secured and peaceful world, giving this as a reason for his government responsibility ending the war in Iraq and for isolating violent extremists while empowering the people in places like Afghanistan and Pakistan. Obama also stated his commitment to a new beginning between America and Muslims around the world, admonishing that the diversity and patriotism of different religious communities give strength to all and the freedom to worship, a constant reminder of the values shared by all.
On behalf of the American people, including Muslim communities in all 50 states, I want to extend best wishes to Muslims in America and around the world. Ramadan Kareem. Ramadan is the month in which Muslims believe the Quran was revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, beginning with a simple word, Iqra. It is therefore a time when Muslims reflect upon the wisdom and guidance that comes with faith, and the responsibility that human beings have to one another and to God. All of these efforts are aimed at advancing our common aspirations, to live in peace and security, to get an education and to work with dignity, to love our families, our communities, and our faith.
And our police in South Carolina now have in custody the suspect who shot sporadically at worshippers during a Bible study at a historic African-American church in Charleston Wednesday evening. The suspect, 21-year-old Dylan Roof, shot and killed 9 people, including Reverend Clementa Pickney. Emmanuel African Methodist Episcopal Church has been a presence in Charleston since 1816. Meanwhile, American President Barack Obama, in a live broadcast monitored by CoreTV News, meant the death of the victims, stressing that such mass shooting does not happen in other advanced countries. Obama also said that he has had to commiserate too many times, and particularly has had to plead with communities to endure tragedies like these too many times. Also, the Republican presidential candidate Jeb Bush cancelled a scheduled town hall meeting in Charleston on Thursday because of the shooting. And our Denmark's general election held today, when which opinion polls suggest is a knife edge as the center-left coalition of Prime Minister Helle Thorning and the center-right opposition led by ex-Prime Minister Lars Løkke Rasmussen appear to be neck and neck. The island's fishing community is still angry at Thorning-Schmidt for burying its boats from Danish ports in 2013 dispute over alleged overfishing, although it is believed that in reality the economy rather than mackerel quotas threaten to swing elections. Thorning-Schmidt's Social Democratic Party has staged a remarkable comeback in recent weeks as Danish finances improve. A poll released on Tuesday put the center-left bloc, the Social Democrat, and their 4 coalition partners. And in entertainment now, a social media platform Netflix have paid $60 million for the rights to release Pete's War Machine, as the streaming service is always on a hunt for premium content for their subscribers. War Machine is based on the novel The Operators, the wide and terrifying inside story of America's war in Afghanistan by author Michael Hastings, as Pete is set to star as Jen Stanley, a mass rollout, the commander of the U.S. and international troops in Afghanistan, who mock Obama officials, including Joe Biden, in a 2010 Rolling Stone piece by Hastings. Afterwards, Mark Christopher was forced to resign. As for Pete, he recently starred in the World War II drama Fury and continues to produce films through his plant B banner. In addition to War Machine, the A-lister is preparing for the release of By the Sea, a film which he co-starred with his wife Angela Jolie, who also directed the project. And in sports now, the 2014 FIFA Coach of the Year for Women nominee has been retained by the NFF to handle the Nigeria Under-20 women's side. Coach Peter Devo has been reappointed as handler of the Nigeria Under-20 women team by the Nigeria Football Federation. Under the guidance of Devo, Nigeria went within inches of becoming the first African nation to become women's world champions after losing to Germany 1-0 in the final of the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Canada. He also boasts a strong connection with the many young stars of Nigerian women's football, having also coached the Under-17 national team at the Azerbaijan 2012 prior to his breakthrough effort with the Super Falconet at Canada 2014. Tony Ayla, Wemimo Matthew Olarewaju, and Awaba Shaula also returned as his assistant, and they will attempt to qualify the Falconet for the 2016 Under-20 Women's World Cup in Papua New Guinea when they faced Liberia in a qualifying game in July. A Nigerian billionaire Aliko Dangote says he's still keen on buying English Premier League side Arsenal, and the 58-year-old, who is Africa's richest man, having amassed a fortune in the region of 18.4 billion US dollars, equivalent of 12.2 billion, is currently the 67th richest man in the world. Dangote, who has been made his fortune through various operations, including cement manufacturing, sugar supply, and oil investment, says that he will concentrate on getting the refinery on track before giving all it takes to get Arsenal. And the Kano-born billionaire and Arsenal fan gave a not too polite verdict on the Gunners and why he wants to take it over, and has criticized Arsene Wenger, claiming that the 65-year-old needs to change his style a bit, and warning that the club needs new direction in order to become more successful. Well, and that's it on CoreTV Primetime News tonight. But just before we go, a recap of our major headline. We told you that President Muhammadu Buhari, others have called on Nigerians to pray for peace, love and prosperity as Muslims begin the 2015 Ramadan fast. We also brought to you that the Senate President Bukola Saraki has assured that the 8th Assembly will pass the Petroleum Industry Bill into law. Finally tonight, the police authority says it has washed its hands of the issues surrounding the extradition battle between Senator Buruji Kashamu and the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. And that's it tonight. Many thanks for watching. On behalf of the entire news crew, I am Frank Omalape. Have a good night rest.